Hey, Spuddies, Potatomcwhiskey here, and welcome back to Let's Play Civilization 6 as Russia in the No Theater Square Challenge. This is actually my second attempt to record this because halfway through, like the first 5 minutes of the original attempt, my microphone arm basically collapsed under its own weight. It's probably time for me to get new one. This one has rocked pretty hard for the last 2 years, but the amount of wear and tear I get on this thing, it's probably time for an upgrade. So we're just going to pick up a spy, a monument. A lot of what we're going to be doing here is just getting through the turns. We're about to win in 22 turns. I will still try to maximize my tourism output. There's still quite a few national parks that I could build, for example, over here. And for the purpose of actually getting those underway, I will get some builders going over here to start tidying up this area, planting down some more forests, and just generally getting things in order so that we can place ourselves another national park. Unfortunately, we are probably going to make use of rock bands, even though normally I would wait until later in the game for the purpose of getting... there's a card hidden here in the Fog of Technology that gives your rock bands the ability to choose from any promotion. But I think at this point, waiting for that is probably not the right move. We will go ahead and just get the stock exchange for the little bit of extra gold. We're going to go ahead and get you to heal up. There's quite a bit of repair work that needs to be done in and around here as well. This poor little apostle, can you die at long last? Hey, we got another relic, and that is all of the relic slots that we have completely filled up. So it took us a very long time to get there, but we got there in the end. We're currently making 1.263 thousand tourism per turn, and we haven't even maxed out our capacity for generating tourism with, for example, environmentalism and the online community's economic policy. So apparently Victoria won that, that's fine. We got the monument in here. I'm trying to think of how I would get a little bit more tourism. Probably a water park is an okay way to get a little bit more tourism in here. That seems perfectly reasonable and fine to me. I want to get the shopping mall in here, but I want to go ahead and build it naturally with... Or sorry, not build it naturally, buy it with gold. My alliance with Sumeria has run out, so I will try to get an alliance back with him. It'll be a cultural alliance. Why don't you give me some of your monies? Thank you very much. I appreciate the trade deal. This guy over here, his job will be to do what exactly? Might be a good idea now to replace these with lumber mills. To provide adjacency bonuses to certain places. You go ahead and repair that, and then you've got a little bit more work to do. You're going to go here and start planting forests for this. I'm also going to actually purchase myself another one of these, and you should not be on avoid food focus, to be honest. You should be on just any default focus. I don't know why. Probably a lot of my cities are probably doing really inefficient things because of like these priorities that I set up earlier. I really should, like, I mean, I bet you I could win the game a lot quicker if I was much more heavy-handed in my management of my cities. With regards to like this sort of like management of these things and even individually managing tiles. But I think the thing is, in Civ 6, the marginal value of interacting with your cities with regards to tile management is so much lower when you compare it to, say, Civ 5, because you just have so many cities, and cities generate so few resources relative to what they do in Civ 5. So it seems like an awful lot of work for a very small amount of gain. So we're working on cleaning this up and getting it ready for a national park. You'll put a lumber mill there to make that into a really, really productive tile. We're going to go ahead and siphon funds here. And we'll go to the next turn. Unit needs orders over here. And we will, if in fact, repair that tile and then go to the next turn. Yes, we will stand united as friends. And I think I will renew my friendship with the Khmer. So let's go in here and we will get... Well, now, the question is, I have economic alliance available, so who has the most of these? Looks like I would get the... Probably better to get an alliance with Victoria, because I might get a little bit of extra gold out of that. So let's go ahead and declare friendship with you. And she actually does not want a friendship, that's fine. You don't want a friendship either. Do you want a friendship? You don't. And so I guess everyone hates me, which is kind of unsurprising. So I guess we'll just get an economic alliance with you, even though it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things, because we have a level 2 alliance with you, which is pretty nice. Right, so we have a library over here in Astrakhan. I'm going to go ahead and grab the university, just for the sake of grabbing the university. We're going to slow build a seaport over here, just so we can get through the turns. We're going to build the arena because that has a little bit of tourism on it, and we are going to go ahead and grab ourselves a sewer in here. Look. Oh no, what have I done? What am I doing? Like my brain, I was like, yeah, that's a forest. Nope, it's a Cahokia mound. Whoops. Repair. Go here, do that. We'll go to the next turn. So, a little bit of work ahead of us. So, looks like some of the AI does want to be friends after all. They just didn't want to have me be the one to say, hey, do you want to be friends? I guess they wanted to be friends on their terms, which is, you know, it's fine. I'm not offended by that at all. I'll get a military alliance with you. Sure thing. We'll throw in open borders. We'll do this. We'll get a little bit of gold off you. And then we'll go to Germany. And Germany, I would like to get a research alliance with you. Give me your gold. Excellent. Thank you for the 11 gold per turn. And we're going to choose production over here. We have ourselves another spy. We're going to send this spy over to London. Because we can steal money there if we want it. Also, it would be a good idea to go ahead and look around for a thing to buy. We are looking for the... It's in here somewhere. I guess I need to finish more of these neighborhoods to be able to do that. For example, you, Mecca, you don't have a shopping mall, do you? Do you? Have I built a shopping mall everywhere? I guess I've built it basically everywhere, so I have a bunch of gold here that I can't really do anything with. Let's go ahead and get one more builder over here. Yeah, let's remove that. Let's harvest this. And then let's get ourselves a naturalist. This will probably be the last naturalist that I make. Let's make sure you own all of these tiles. So we want to create the national park over here, ideally. We'll choose production down here. We did get a spy. I don't really have much that I can do with this city. A little bit of extra faith might not be the worst thing in the world. Harbor shipping might not be too bad to do either. I think I'll go ahead and just grab another spy, because why not? I can get a shopping mall in here. Excellent. So that's a little bit of extra tourism. And we'll go ahead and grab the monument too. Over here in Mecca, you, on the other hand, could certainly actually manage maybe a builder to improve all of this terrain a little bit better. So we'll go ahead and do that. I really should put a... I really should put one of these guys. I think I'm going to reassign Magnus over to St. Petersburg because he'll give me a tourism boost from my era bonus. It'll only be for 5 turns and it's only on World Wonders, but it's fine. You can see we're making a lot of tourism. And I mean a lot of it. Interesting enough, these wonders haven't really contributed that much tourism. Like if we look at a wonder that we built relatively early into the game, which was... I'm trying to think, what was the first wonder that I built? Was it this, Mont Saint Michel? And that even has tourism-y things in it. It's only worth like 9 tourists, which is pretty decent, but still. And the grand scheme of things, it's not a huge amount, but every little bit counts in this sort of a game where we have a very limited scope of things that we can do to achieve our goals. I do think lumber mills in here is a perfectly reasonable thing to do to make the city a little bit more productive. I think that's a totally fine thing to do. Yes, we will be friends with France. That seems totally fine as well. I'm pretty sure the AI killed someone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sure. I'll vote for me. I'll vote a lot for me. And I'll vote for me. Maybe I'll get those Diplo points, huh? Hey, I did. I won. Awesome. And I won by the skin of my teeth, too. Awesome. Alright, there's some gold. We can claim a great person now. Optimization issue, okay. And we will claim... Yep, we'll grab you. Stock exchange has been completed over here. I don't need a sewer. I don't need anything. Let's see. I have all of the districts that I would consider core. I could get a +3 campus over here at the sacrifice of a really nice production tile. But, I mean, at this point in the game... A production tile really doesn't matter so much compared to some of the other things that we could do with this tile with regards to getting a campus. Is a campus really going to be worth that much? Well, it all depends on who this great person is. And to that end, I think the best way for me to get more tourism is actually, surprisingly, to do commercial hub investments. Because there are particular great merchants that give you a lot of extra tourism. I don't know if any of them have appeared yet in this game. No! They got the other tourism great merchant. Damn it, how did I miss out on that? because I went for jeans, and then they double bought Great People, which skipped over into this one now. That's annoying. That's very, very unfortunate. It is what it is. We gotta live with it. Campus, commercial hub, industrial zone, Lavra. The only other thing I would consider in here is maybe an entertainment district, and right there is a pretty decent spot for it. So we'll go ahead and slap it down because we had a pin there. We're also going to go ahead and just like promote you and use you instantly. Right, yes, also lumber mill right there. And we have our naturalist ready to go. Let's plant our forests to make this work. And then we'll pop you down there. Excellent. And then we'll work on building this into a national park as well. I also need to get rid of this jungle over here. And ideally, I would also put a lumber mill on that tile. So there's a little bit of work in tidying this up. But it shouldn't be too difficult. So you're going to go do that. You're going to do that. You're going to go do that. Awesome. And I also should really be building ski resorts. I just never really got around to it. Do I have the tech for it even? I can't remember what is the tech for ski resorts. It's over here. Professional sports. I don't have a whole lot of mountains, but it would be an extra little bit of tourism. For example, there's 2 over here. There's 1 over here. There's 2 over here. There's 1 here. Oh my goodness, that was a sneeze. I managed to avoid sneezing, but... Excuse me. I'm very sorry about that. Right. Choose mission. Go ahead and steal gold for me. Thank you very much. We'll go to the next turn. I wonder if we could figure out who was killed based on the name of the cities. Because someone has to have been killed. Right? Because I think there's supposed to be 8 players in this game. Did I kill someone? Oh, right, I killed Arabia. Never mind. I completely forgot. Oh, yeah, there's a missing AI in this game. Potato, you killed Arabia in, like, episode 2. Oh, yeah, whoops. Completely forgot about that. My bad, Arabia. Alright, we'll get a market for the extra trade route, and in fact, we'll go over to our capital here, and we will purchase ourselves an extra trader in here. We have the ability to go ahead and continue to maximize our gold income. Now, how close are we to a win? We're actually quite a few more turns away than I had thought. So that's an interesting position to be in. We'll have to do a little bit of work towards things. I don't need that pin anymore. Right. There are some things to be fixed over here, so we'll go ahead and get to work on that. You'll go ahead and improve that. And you'll go ahead and do this so we get less war weariness. The 50% war weariness decrease, which means we can be much more aggressive in our wars, which is interesting from a gameplay perspective. Let's see. First civic of a new era. So now we can get rock bands, but I do want to get one more naturalist, so we'll get that, and then we'll start purchasing rock bands. We're going to go ahead and harvest this here. We're going to get rid of the rainforest here and the rainforest here, and then you are going to work on a lavra at long last. You've been waiting on doing this for a very, very long time. I would love to harvest that stone, but it's just not going to happen. So we'll just put it there. Right, you don't have a lavra. Interesting. So I will put a lavra right there. And then the builder over here in Mecca could pop down a couple of Cahokia amounts, or we could start placing more forests to get another national park in here. I think with the appropriate amount of appeal, and if we got rid of that right there and put a forest on it, I think we're in good shape. In the meantime, let's go down to the projects and queue up some commercial hub investments because, again, these great merchants can potentially be very lucrative from a standpoint of gaining delicious, delicious tourism. Go ahead and put a lumber mill down there. Let's go ahead and keep repairing all of these tiles. Vilnius has declared war on Khmer. Modern era in 6 turns. All right, we've completed a spy over here. And yeah, I guess we just keep making spies. We're going to send this one over to Paris. Because no, I already have a spy in Paris. So we'll go to Anchor Thumb and we'll just steal from there. I like to steal from the AI's capitals because it's just statistically more likely to be generating gold. And I don't have to spend a whole lot of time thinking about where I want to send my guys. We do not have a thing. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to let this city... put a turn into... See, this is the problem. I want the city to just not do anything. But I can't just do that. I have to, like, do other things. Because next turn it's going to grow to 7 pop, and then I can do something useful with that city. So now we're generating a lot of tourism. Nizhny Novgorod. I think I'm just going to shift enter the turn. Like so. Excellent. Ah! You're dead. Rip in pasta. There's a bit of a gentle eruption over there. Paradoxically, population of 20 in St. Petersburg. Excellent. Okay, run away. Okay, we've completed the monument over here in Nizhny Novgorod, but that was because we forced the city to end turn. And then we can get to work on the all-important commercial hub, which will potentially allow us to do more interesting things. I don't think a stock exchange is going to do a whole lot for us compared to just doing commercial hub investments, so let's just go pop, 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 because that's where the tourism lies. We are going to go to level 6 here, because we do have banks. And then there's a lumber mill over there as well. You can keep repairing tiles for me. Excellent, excellent, excellent. We'll put a thingy there. I want another naturalist. However, I think it is time to start purchasing rock bands. And we need to make a decision about who do we wish to send our rock bands to. Well, I think it'll really depend on what the lay of the land is. We have to get rid of some of this stuff too. This jungle in here is not helping with the quality of the city. In fact, we'll probably have to purchase another builder in here in order to really take advantage of this and get rid of all this stuff and just improve it and make it better.
Nothing on this earth lasts.
In fact, I could possibly fit another national park up here on this horse area if I play my cards right. If I get another builder in here, we'll have to do a little bit of improvement. But that shouldn't be a big deal. We also got the Natural History Museum. Oh my god. OMG. Great works of music. 100% are the ones that we want. And we also would like to... wait, where is... one of these guys? I want to get the curator and put him into Novgorod. So let's grab Pingala, reassign him to Novgorod. And then we're going to reassign Liang to, like, I think Cairo has a wonder in it, so that's a perfectly fine place to put it. Sorry, not Cairo. Whatever, we'll just throw them into Baghdad. Alright, we got the National History Museum in here. Let's go ahead and... we have all the core districts. It would be good to get a commercial hub. I think I would happily sacrifice a gold tile here for a commercial hub. So let's do that. We'll also, in a roundabout way, improve my Cahokia amount. I'm just going to be repeating my trade routes, preferably, on my traders. Not because it's optimal or efficient, but because it just simplifies making sure that I have trade routes to every active AI in the game. Trade route, trade route, trade route, trade route, trade route. I could certainly optimize this. I don't have open borders with England, actually. Let us do the open borders agreement. Yes, that's a little bit of extra tourism that I would not otherwise generate. So we have here a rock band with a promotion. Let us take a promotion. Album cover art is really good. So I'm going to go ahead and take that. Human Surprise is a good name. I like that one. And we're going to take album cover art because this is like easily the best one. For a thingy. We'll confirm the name. You're going to go out here and you have... Religious rock, we may as well get song value out of you. Indigo Poets. Maybe Indigo Prophets would have been better. Okay, you have a promotion. We are going to take the Sabotage Production. It's an offensive thing that we can actually maybe make use of. You are going to steal gold, but first you're going to gain sources. You are going to run away and heal up. We're going to go to the next turn. Now, in terms of generation, we are only a few turns away from winning, depending on the generation of tourism that we get. Who is the strongest cultural civ? Because that's who we want to send. So it looks like it's Gilgamesh, because every tourist that we take away from Gilgamesh makes my victory a little bit easier. I'm not really sure how to explain that adequately, but there is a wonder right here that we can perform at. Generate 1,000 tourism. So if we look here and we look at Gilgamesh, he has 279 and 40, right? If I do this, we get 1,000 tourism against him. And next turn this should update. Well, they failed miserably. We definitely want to try to convert cities, so here we go. So the 50-50 shot that these guys die. We got 2,000 tourism. So now we're at 41. And I think next turn on this update, this number should go down. Unless how it works, that isn't how it works, and the people who made the guides lied to me. Alright, let's get another 2 rock bands. This is why I usually wait until I have the civic cards that allow me to choose any promotion for my rock bands, because it lets me have a higher success rate with my rock bands, because they have a very, very low success rate before you have that card. Let's go ahead and just keep stealing gold. We have an outrageous amount of gold right now, so we should probably not be hard building anything and just running projects and then purchasing what we need. Let's go ahead and harvest that. You go here. I will put a lumber mill there because it will be better. I'm going to just purchase a bunch of random crap in here to make this city better. And then I'm going to get a Lavra neighborhood. You already have a neighborhood is my question. You don't actually have a neighborhood. You have one placed. Let's get that flood barrier. Yes, okay, we're friends with England now. Religious alliance, give me all of your money. Excellent, thank you very much. Awesome, 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 awesome. And we will just continue on like nothing happened. Sure, sure. I will vote yes for both of these because I don't care. A lot of aid requests in this game. I feel like putting disaster intensity higher makes the game easier to win from a diplomatic standpoint.
Not usually stutter.
Which is an interesting thing. We are 7 turns away from winning, technically. Okay, so hopefully this number went down, right? I took some tourists from them, so this number went down, which means this number went down, which made it easier to win, right? That's why you send your tourism pressure against the strongest civilization. Theater Square, national parks. I don't see any national parks. Do I see spaceports? There is a spaceport over here. Spaceport. Lost Ranger. Spaceport or national parks? I don't see any national parks, so Glam Rock is more reliable, but it's weaker than this. I'm gonna do Space Rock. Space Rock! So he has to have built already some spaceports, and he has. So that means we'll have at least 3 spaceports in the future to perform at. And this guy over here, we are going to do Space Rock. I mean, it's pretty terrible, but it's like it's okay. Right. Traders. Commercial hub in here would be nice. Boop, right there. Probably didn't need this sewer. Let's go ahead and go down and do a bunch of commercial hub investments because our hope is to get these guys in a reasonable amount of time. We'll choose our production over here. We go to market. We definitely want to get the bank because the bank is efficient. And similarly over here, we're going to go to projects and we are going to queue up a whole ton of commercial projects. Go ahead and repair that. You are going to continue to steal gold from me, although it would be a good idea to gain sources first. We are going to put a forest there. We're going to harvest. We're going to put a forest here. I'd like to put another national park here, although the question is it even useful? And I'm not sure. Let's go to Uruk. We'll try to steal money from you. We'll go to the next turn. Now we might be able to make some waves by doing these spaceport rock band things. So you can see he's now up to 276 because we're basically imagine it like this: a civilization generates tourists, right? And every time a tourist decides to come to my country instead of stay in their country, it lowers the total number of tourists that they have defending themselves. So like, right, it's 276 for Gilgamesh, right? I'm gonna do these two things, right? Generate a whole, but wait, I need to find another spaceport. There's got to be a spaceport in this city. Wait, he's supposed to have 2 spaceports. How can he? Wait, how can he be? How can he be launching a moon landing here? But he just built a spaceport in this city. Where is it? Am I blind? Oh, there it is. It's up here. I am blind. Let's get over there in that direction. So let's say, right? I'm gonna wait a turn, right? I'll wait a turn, and then I'll show the numbers. Did I forget to make more great works over here? Entertainment district done here. Get the arena. You have all of the core. Oh, you're missing your shrine. So I'll try to show it and I'll try to explain it. I don't really understand it all that well myself, to be honest. I don't understand it well enough to explain it without like using MS Paint. So maybe we'll do like an MS Paint after this episode to explain how the tourism-y mechanic works, as far as I understand it. So more trade routes. You're going to just go to sleep because I want great musicians to put their works in here. Great works of music are better, in my opinion. A little bit of extra tourism. Okay, so this turn, we're going to take note of some numbers, right? So let me get my notepad out. Notepad. You can't see what I'm doing here, but I've got a notepad open on the side here, okay? And this notepad says, okay, we're going to go check these numbers, right? Gilgamesh is 278 dash 45, okay? Now, we're going to do a thing where we generate a whole bunch of extra tourism. Also, we're in a new era, so we have to change our dedication. We are in a golden age, so we do get to keep the Wishu we're here, which will boost our tourism back up. Okay, so we're going to do this. Why? Why are these guys dying all the time? Wow, not a single one. I think the death rate on these rock bands is way too high. But anyway, look, right? We did some rock band stuff, right? So we generated a significant amount of tourism. So next turn, we're going to explore and see how the tourists of Gilgamesh have changed. And that'll be the goal for the next turn. So we'll just kind of get through this one really quickly. It would be a good idea to get rid of that jungle, actually, now that I look at it. We'll grab ourselves another builder in here. Get rid of that. And get the temple. Okay, so again, remember the numbers. It was 278-45. Sure, you can buy my horses, just leave me alone. 278-45, right? Now that we generated a bunch of tourism on a single turn, we can see that it's 277, okay? So their tourism defense went down from 278 to 277, but I actually gained 3 tourists. So what this means is there has been a swing, because every time I get a visitor from this civilization, I cut this number down. So if you imagine, the total number of tourists that Gilgamesh has are these two numbers added together. And the tourism pressure I have with Gilgamesh dictates how many of the total number of tourists come over to my side and are in my civilization. So if I can target a particular player with my rock bands, I can reduce the number of tourists I need to win, because he has the most amount of tourists total in his home city. And so if I can entice more of his tourists to come to me, I'm actually, not only am I getting more tourists, I'm actually reducing the number of tourists that I need in total to win. So that's a really good way to target a particular player. So there's a 37% chance that we will die. We got a 3rd tier performance, boys. We're actually doing pretty well. Let's get another couple of rock bands for fun. Again, we want to keep targeting Cimmeria, because again, he is the top dog in terms of tourism generation. In terms of... I even messed it up already. I was trying to explain it and now I've messed it up. He's the top dog in terms of domestic tourist generation, so we want to try to eliminate his domestic tourists. I actually just don't care. Stop. Just anything. Anything. Can you go to Germany? We already have a spy in here? I don't think we do. And over here, let's get rid of that. You're going to head up there and get rid of that. We have room for another couple of national parks in here, which is exciting. Although, actually, I don't think I can fit one in here. No, I can't. But I can fit one in, like, there, which is fine. And so again, it's going to be the next turn. It is 276. So you can see his number has gone down, which means the total number of tourists that I need has gone down, because I've been targeting him with tourism generation, and by doing so, we're cutting down the total number of tourists we need to win the game. So that's, if you're having a hard time actually winning the game with like tourism-y stuff, that's one way to do it. Now, does anyone else have spaceports? Jaya Varman does. So we could head up towards him. Now, we're not targeting directly the guy that we want to, but it would allow us... I don't know why you would go that really confusing route. We could get all the way to here in one turn. Choose production here. Let's get the market. So anyway, yeah, hopefully that explains it. I'll do like an infographic at some point, right? I promise. I will do a... You know what? I'm gonna do a video. I'm gonna have to do a video where I explain how tourism works, because I think people just don't understand it. I actually sometimes I feel really like I don't understand it either, but I think I have an okay grasp of it. Ah, man, Glam Rock is like the best option there, and it is not so good. Glam Rock is one of the worst good ones, right? This one is really good. Glam Rock again. Those are not great. Wait, it wanted me to name my builders? Amazing. So we're going to have to do gigs on theater squares, which are like some of the worst ones to do, in my opinion. At the very least, it gives us a decent chance of success. It's only a 26% chance. It's only 250 tourism, though. Alright, we sold some albums. Nice. Another theater square. No? No theater squares? There's one down there. I guess you'll just wait. You'll wait for this one to become available. Let's get ourselves another rock band. They get expensive fast. Let's get down to there. Alright, 1,000 tourism. Anyway, that should be the win, I think. In a turn or two. Queue up the commercial hub. Get out of here. Commercial hub investments. Alright, there we go. Planting woods, next turn. Alrighty. So as much as I would love to keep doing these inside of Gilgamesh, I'm going to have to go do it to someone else, because if I want to be efficient with my tourism generation, it's just how it's got to be, because he only has like a single thingy zone. Okay, you head up over here, and then you have... Popstar is pretty garbage. The really good one is World Wonder ones. Do a Ferris wheel. Get the bank. Gain sources. Unit needs orders. Go up here. Head down here. We could put it this, but I'm gonna do this. Okay. More gold stealing, thank you. There should be a card in the late game called like corporate plant that lets you purchase rock bands with gold. But they should have like a higher chance of they should have a higher chance of failing, of dying. That would be a fun meme. Or you can like spend money to fix their careers. There we go. Commentary on the music industry. Complete. I need to name you. So I want to play at Wonders, ideally. Because they have the best base effect. So I think that should be the game. Ah, he launched the satellite. Yeah, he launched the moon landing. Okay, so this is another great part here. He launched the moon landing, which gave him a huge increase in his culture gain, right? Because when you do the moon landing, you... where the hell is the moon landing? There it is. It's nowhere because it never happened. No, the moon landing grants a one-time culture bonus equal to 10 times your science per turn. So he just gained on the order of... That's why you... the moon landing is actually a pretty good defense against culture victories if you need just a little bit more time. So if you see here, he gained roughly, he's making about 300 science per turn. So he gained around somewhere between about 3,000 and 3,200 science, let's say, or as culture, which is the defense against tourism. So you can see here, the amount of tourists I need has jumped up significantly because of what Gilgamesh did. Look at what you did, Gilgamesh. Indie reggae rock is fine. Rock band, get over there. My God, tunnels have made like pathing in the late game with these kind of units like very confusing. I will say that. Mini penguin. Hell yeah. So wonders are some of the best things to perform on if you don't have good promotions, in my opinion. Can you just stop like interrupting my end of turn animations and stuff like that? Jesus Christ. So this has single-handedly extended how long it's going to take me to win the game by a very significant amount. You can see he's now up to 325 me see if I can refresh the screen. He's now up to 23 tourists, and I have 62 tourism pressure. So you can see we're slowly eroding that, but I need to generate a lot more tourism against him to make up for the fact that he's just got a huge boost in his tourism, which is really, really annoying. We have almost got social media. We'll be able to plug that in for a significant boost in our tourism generation. We're continuing to perform at wonders. They leveled up. Awesome. Leveling up is great. Now, you don't have a very good promotion, so you're just going to do, like, on wonders. So, unfortunately, you died. That's pretty normal. I'm going to bring you back. It's actually so important that we get tourism against Gilgamesh, because he's, like, our #1 enemy right now. Right. You built a lava. Let's go to the queue. Yeah, we're generating an insane amount of great merchant points. I feel like there's some weirdness that goes on with the numbers here. Because, like, here's a modern era guy who costs 600 points. And then there's, like, this great merchant costs, like, 3,400 points. Just because it's, like, an era ahead or whatever. And I think it causes some real weird scenarios to have this be the way that it is. Like, we're in the atomic era and we're earning information era. So I think it just makes things weird with this scaling thing. I think they do some sort of scaling with great people generation that makes the whole outcomes very weird. So we are going to just keep repeating trade routes. I don't want to mess around with the trading system. I have a bunch of gold. I wish there was a better way to turn gold into tourism. There really isn't. Choose a mission. Steal. Oh, gain sources first. We'll go to the next turn. Somebody else built the Panama Canal, so we didn't get that, unfortunately. Oh well. I can't promise that I'll cease these operations. I'm very sorry. Choose escape route. Escape on foot. He did escape with the money. Okay. We have another rock band here. This one has a promotion. Major history. National parks for 1,000 tourism. Indy is like, okay. You go here. You take your... Roadies is like the least worst of all of those. Can't purchase another naturalist or another rock band, unfortunately. We'll harvest that. We will put a lumber mill there. Okay, rock band. Play. You died, unfortunately, so we can check this again. You can see we've already eroded Gilgamesh down to 321-666. So if you want to see the numbers, it went 278, 277, 276. Then he got the big boost. He went to the 305, then he went to 323, and now we've brought him down to 321. So we're slowly cutting into this. And don't forget, not only are we cutting into him, this is who we've been applying. This is who we've been targeting to increase our tourism pressure. But every tourist that we get from these other civs also points towards our victory. So, you know, there's got a lot of considerations that go into, like, how you optimize a tourism victory. Unfortunately, he did pass the space race, which was... Maybe I should have been sabotaging his things. It's fine. So, unfortunately, a lot of my rock bands are dying. Because the probability of death is really high. These guys are doing great. So yeah, Gilgamesh is our #1 target. We've brought him down to 318 from his high of 325. So if he's up down to 318, we are gaining nearly 4 tourists per turn against him. And we'll win in a couple of turns. In fact, we never even got around to getting online communities and environmentalism. It's probably just down to the fact that we don't have that much culture per turn. If we had been able to get these theater squares up, we would have a lot more tourism. A lot more culture and tourism as a result. Lumber mill right there. Down to 318. This is actually a really, really good scientist for a culture victory, but unfortunately, like, we just don't have the things that they apply to. These guys are rolling really well on their survival rolls. It's like sucks so much because we got two of like the first two guys that we got had like the perfect Great Wonder promotions, but they just died instantaneously. It's really annoying. And so commercial hub investments. Should be getting like an insane amount of points towards this guy now. Seaport done in here. Commercial hub. There. So we actually have nowhere we can spend Mary Leakey. Whatever, just do the thing. So we have just about won the game. There it is. So if I shift enter, that will be a 1 game right there.
The worth of a culture is not measured by its accomplishments, but in how those accomplishments last and how they are remembered. The beauty that you have inspired our people to create will ensure that our culture stands for all time.
Okay, so rather than do the normal thing, what we're going to do here is we are going to go in here and get paint open, and we're going to talk a little bit about culture victories, just for the curious who have been here. So let's say, so I'm going to try and like illustrate how the culture victory works. So you have a thing called tourists. Okay, and there are 2 categories of tourists. There are domestic and foreign. Okay, now, how many tourists your civilization has is directly related to the total amount of culture you have generated. Okay? So, culture creates tourists, okay? Then tourism, which we will put is as a orange color. Tourism from another civ pulls tourists from your total pool over to another civ, and they act as a foreign thing. So, and then they act as foreign tourists in their civ, okay? Now, you take... So your domestic tourism, if your culture gain is greater than their tourism, you will have a net increase in domestic tourists. Okay? However, if the culture gain, and the exact numbers are kind of difficult to explain because it actually depends on a lot of different factors, but if the tourism is higher, I should have done this on a black screen. Hold on. Do it Khan Academy style. Don't save this. Don't show them my pictures. Stop. New. Don't save, right? We're going to do this on a black screen because it's easier to see. Okay? So, let's get a paintbrush. Let's make it slightly thicker. So there's tourists, right? And there's two categories of tourists. So the num of tourists depends on your culture. Okay, own culture increases increases the amount of tourists that your empire has, right? Then this category is taken, okay, and this becomes your domestic tourist number, okay? And along here, tourism pressure comes in here and pulls out before they become domestic tourists. Other tourism pressure. Pulls these out, and then they go on to become foreign tourists. So this is like a very simple picture, okay? Your own culture dictates how many tourists you have, and then that dictates how many domestic tourists you have, and then the tourism pressure of another civ pulls those tourists out as foreign tourists, reducing the total number of domestic tourists. So your domestic tourism, if you look at the formula, D tourists equals F tourists, which is foreign, minus total tourists which is probably a simpler way to do this is like D tourists, right? This is like the thing. So a simpler way to do this is like D domestic tourists equals T minus F, where F is foreign tourists and T is your total tourists, which is generated by culture. So if you increase your tourism pressure on another civilization by using rock bands, you reduce the total number of domestic tourists they have because you're pulling foreign tourists over to your country. So basically how that works is because this is a minus, if F increases, therefore D decreases. Okay? And so that what the other conclusion means then is therefore if tourism increases, D decreases, right? You get me? Your domestic tourism decreases. Increases, D decreases. And then you can do the inverse of this logic, right? So like if culture increases, then your total tourists increases, therefore domestic tourists increases, right? And that's what I'm using the arrows to mean. So like the basic picture of things is, and this is like without even going into the nitty gritty of multipliers and either positive multipliers or negative multipliers, or positive multipliers, negative multipliers, and then there can be positive or negative multipliers here. This can be all multiplied and stuff, and similarly all these kind of things. This is like the simplest picture, right? So here's the simplest statement I can make. Your tourism dictates how many tourists your empire has. Sorry, your culture dictates how many tourists your empire has. Your enemy's tourism dictates how many foreign tourists they have, and your total tourists minus foreign tourists is how many domestic tourists you have. So basically, culture protects you, enemy tourism attacks you. And then the other conclusion we can make is that since generating tourism pressure with a civilization reduces their domestic tourism pool, you want to target the strongest civilization in terms of tourism, with as much in terms of culture, with the most tourist pressure, so that you can reduce the total number of tourists you need to win, because the amount of tourists that you need to win is based on whoever has the most culture. Does that make sense? I'm gonna have to do like a full length video explaining all of these concepts, but this is like the simplest picture. If any of you guys have been like, what I want you to do is, before I make this video about culture, I want you guys to give me all of your questions you have about tourism, and I'm gonna do a video where I explain everything. Give me any. So here's what I want. I want your questions. I want your tips. I want your suggestions, and we're gonna kind of build a video together. That's what we're gonna do, because I'm gonna build slides. I'll probably do like a fairly simple like PowerPoint presentation on tourism. I'll write a script. I'll do the whole lot, and we'll finally get the community to understand tourism victories, because I feel like there's a lot of misconceptions about tourism. Anyway, I love you all very much, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.